Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we got some bad news for Hollywood. They survived until 25, but things got worse in 25.
Yep.
And now we're going into 2026, and there's a new motto. Find a way to stick it out in 26.
Wait, that doesn't even rhyme.
No, it's basically at this point they're done rhyming because after the strikes, we talked about this. After the strikes, the jobs dried up, and they're like, "Well, that's okay, guys. That's okay. If we can survive till 25, it's all gonna get better." Well, plot twist: it's not getting better. In fact, there are multiple articles out there talking about how there's not a whole lot coming up in the pipeline for movies that are gonna save them. We've got the Netflix Warner Brothers merger happening, which is going to get rid of a lot of jobs, and just Hollywood is falling apart in general because a lot of people are leaving because of politics. They're like, it's awful.
More asses get nixed in 26.
More asses get nixed in 26. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna talk about this. I like that. It needs to be on a t-shirt. And we're gonna talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to more. That's more.clownfishtv.com. That's moreclownfishtv.com. Going into 26, we're gonna, I don't know, come up with something that rhymes with that, like Clownfish TV something 26.
Think about it. Right? I can't do that off the top of my head.
Okay, hey, just think about it. Get back to me. Anyway, this is coming from the Ankler. Your predictions, fears, hopes for Hollywood in 2026. Find a way to stick it out. They said writers, directors, and executives share hard-earned advice and candid takes on what the industry needs and must shed.
Here's my candid take: do something else. My candid take is, it's not looking good. Have a backup plan. If you have skills in the industry, your skills can probably apply to other industries. Go do something else. That's my my advice for you.
So they're going to renegotiate a lot of the union contracts in 26. We talked about that a little bit, and I am hoping they're not dumb enough to pull another 2023 because it did not end well.
We thought it wasn't going to end well then. They didn't listen. We got so much shit.
So this is coming from Outkick. They're talking the politics. We're going to talk the politics being definitely part of it, but just the industry is changing in general. In fact, this article coming from Deadline says that this might be the last good year before the Netflix apocalypse happens.
They're saying the stick it out or whatever. Stick it out for what? Because if Netflix buys Warner, it's probably going to be like they might play ball for like the first year or so, but then they're going to not put it at the theaters. They're going to go more internal because they've said it before. They don't think that's what the audiences are anymore. So they're going to take a hit there from the box office. The jobs are drying up.
Yeah.
There's new negotiations, and then there's AI replacing people. It's like, what is there to stick it out for? And then the climate in LA hasn't been exactly great for filming anyway.
Well, we're going to talk about that because what is going to happen, I believe, is we're going to see more of an incursion of tech into Hollywood, and we're going to have people be able to start studios pretty much from anywhere. So they don't need to really play ball with Hollywood or the Hollywood system. But this article from Outkick says it's gotten so bad that within the last 5 years, for the first time in state history, California actually lost residents. Newsom's extreme COVID lockdowns, mask mandates, and pseudoscientific COVID vaccine discrimination.
But they still are blaming, by the way, for the box office failure. That and the strikes. They're still blaming.
5 years later, they're still blaming COVID. It's so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
They said it pushed out over 1 million people in a single year. A lot of people packed up and moved from California. The cost of living crisis is at its worst in California. As
the streets are covered in shit.
They're covered in shit. San Francisco used to be a beautiful city. It really was. Back in the 90s, it was nice. It was a nice city. They said as the left's insane energy rules, regulations, and sky-high taxes make living in the state a functional nightmare. And that's before considering the abhorrent social and cultural rules the state has enforced. It's crazy. But they said the state and its incompetent leadership can at least point to the relics of a bygone era as evidence of California's success. Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and its associated wealth and power was its signature accomplishment. And now, as a massive report in the Wall Street Journal has uncovered, it's in serious trouble. Oh, my God, guys.
Well, they were already making studios in like Nevada and stuff and other places for them to go.
They're talking about how in 2023 there were strikes, yes, and then COVID lockdowns, yes. And they say after years of turning its focus away from crowd-pleasing films with broad appeal, the industry's political extremism was finally coming back to bite them. Most within,
shit.
yeah, I know, right? Most within the industry were happy to continue with business as usual, pretending as though nothing was wrong or could ever go wrong. It's Hollywood after all. We had so many people that were saying, survive until 25, survive until 25. If we can just stick it out until 25, everything's going to be okay. 25, and a lot of people in the animation too, 25 came and went and things actually got worse. They actually got worse. The
I don't think 26 is shaping out to be much better.
No. The Wall Street Journal's investigation found that work is evaporating, businesses are closing, longtime residents are leaving, and the heart of LA's creative middle class is hanging on by a thread. People forget it's not just the A-list celebrities. You have a lot of people that are below the line workers that work in these industries, caterers and stylists and, the people that run the equipment, the photographer, all those people. And they can't make it. They can't go for a year without work. Right. A lot of them.
A lot of the movies depend on them being there.
Yes.
You can't make it without them either.
Yep. So it said at the end of 2022, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported there were roughly 142,000 people employed in the movie business in LA County. By the end of 2024, just 2 years later, that number had dropped to just 100,000. So we're talking almost a third. Holy shit. That's a catastrophic decline in the speed with which it's happened is jaw dropping. So within 2 years, a third of the people working in the movie business were out of it.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. And you think it's going to get better? It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
Now is the time in 2026. You need to go find something else.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely do. And I think a lot of people they can't wrap their heads around it because something has always been a certain way, as long as you can remember, doesn't mean that there's not going to be a seismic shift sometime in your lifetime. And people get very comfortable. I went to school for this, so I'm going to do it for the rest of my life.
But it is what it is. And I don't know where you think it's going to get better. I mean, I don't see how in any way, shape, or form it's going to get better.
So they said the industry is starting fewer projects than in years past, and this is before the Netflix Warner Brothers thing. They're canceling stuff ahead of time, by the way. Roughly 30% fewer movies and TV shows with budgets of at least $40 million began shooting in the U.S. in 2024 than in 2022. 30% fewer. Then it went down again to start 2025. In the mid-2010s, the occupancy rate for studio sound stages was 95%. It was hard to get a studio because they were 95% full. Now it's dropped to the low 60s, and it shows no sign of reversing course.
Well, no, they're also going to other places to film. They're going to other states. They're going to other countries that offer them, a bunch of money back. Well,
that's what they said. They said left-wing studio executives who once supported Newsom and other far-left candidates have moved their production to other states or countries thanks to massive tax breaks. Redistributing wealth is great, unless it's their own, of course. California is slow-moving and convinced of its own infallibility, was so slow to react to these obvious changes that adding its own tax breaks hasn't been nearly enough to stop the outflow. They're holding on for these tax breaks, and even with the tax breaks, it still makes more sense to go to like Nevada or Florida or Georgia or something.
Or other countries.
Or now with the computer technology, do you really need a sound stage? I mean, you can just throw somebody in front of a green screen and there's your new Netflix show, right? LA's unemployment rate far exceeds the national average, and the population has declined by more than 250,000 people in 4 years.
Dang.
Stubbornness, refusal to adapt, refusing to account for competition, union demands, monstrous cost of living make long breaks between productions untenable. All of it has combined to hurt Hollywood, and there's little national interest in helping Hollywood through, say, a federal tax cut for U.S.-based films because the industry has so consistently shown its disdain or outright hatred for its home country. The industry made its bed, and it has no choice but to lie in it. Yeah.
I don't think people that are in power now are going to be none too willing to help them either. I mean, when they did try, they got pissy about it. So who knows?
Yeah, because I remember Trump had the was it like the ambassadors or whatever? He was the Hollywood was like Sylvester Stallone,
which fell off. You never heard
that fell off because they don't want to. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And I think anymore, it's like, okay, fine. It's like Batman on the train in Batman Begins to Ra's al Ghul. He's just like, yeah, I don't have to save you. I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you. See ya. Boom. So they're saying, yeah, the 2026 U.S. box office could hit $9 billion, but they said, how long can the theatrical business remain intact before the Netflix Warner Brothers merger crushes the window? So they know they're on borrowed time. This might be the last really big year for theatrical releases. And if they miss a single one, it's not going to be.
Well, there's not a lot. That's just it. And they're talking about how they're going to have a $9 billion box office. They said last year, there was all these tent poles that were supposed to do really well and didn't. Like Elio and Tron. Hey, look, I see a pattern here. It's Disney and stuff. Now, Disney is bragging about how they had hit $6 billion at the box office or whatever, and they were doing so well, but that didn't account for other losses. Yeah. Even then, they still did pretty well. But coming up, I'm looking at the movies coming up, and there aren't a lot of important things. Like I know April has Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm looking here at a list. May, you have Devil Wears Prada 2, and oh boy, Animal Farm, and then The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I don't think is going to do as well as Disney seems to think it's going to do. June, we have that Disclosure Day, which is kind of cool. But we have Toy Story 5 and Supergirl. July 1st, we have Minions 3. So there are some movies coming out, but do I think it's going to be bigger than last year? I don't know.
I don't know.
Moana live action's coming out in July.
That'll do.
The Odyssey's coming out in July. Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out in July. So, but they're also stacking them against each other to make it more competitive. And then there's some different things I'm looking here. August, is there anything in August? Not really. So then we have another break. September, I'm looking. Resident Evil, and a couple untitled Disney, so I don't know when they did this list. Practical Magic 2. Endgame's going to be, they're re-releasing Endgame. They're re-releasing a whole bunch of stuff. They're re-releasing in January and February, like Labyrinth, and they're re-releasing, Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, that's been a thing. And look, I mean, we went to several re-releases over the last year, and I enjoy that, but it's kind of like video games. Like if people aren't buying your new AAA titles, you just re-release the old stuff because that they like that, and that's kind of what it feels like, right?
Look in November. There's another Hunger Games, that Hex, which is another Disney animated, Violent Night 2, and then December is what they're really counting on, and that's going to be that they have Jumanji 3 in December and a Doomsday.
Yeah, so, Doomsday maybe. We have another video coming up talking about Doomsday, that they're basically doing whatever it takes to get people to the theater for that. But they're talking like, yeah, Warner Brothers says now that they're committed to theatrical, but they are correct.
I don't think they're going to stay that way.
No, they said after the Warner Brothers merger honeymoon is over 2 to 3 years from now, if Netflix attempts to take the industry to a 17-day theatrical window, who's going to stop them? Basically, the movie would be in theaters for 17 days and then it's dumped on the streaming. And who's going to go if they know they can watch it on streaming? Some people are going to go because they want that theatrical experience. Certain movies you're going to go to the theater for, but you're not going to go to the theater for everything. You're going to really be, picking and choosing what you want to go see. Will exhibitors truly backstop them? Will they cave out of financial desperation like they did when they played K-pop Demon Hunters after the movie already streamed on Netflix for about a month? Would they reject playing Matt Reeves' Batman 2 on a 17-day window, or play it because it's Batman? The movie currently is dated for an October 1st, 2027 release. Will the Academy of Motion...
because they need money.
They're going to. They're playing old stuff. Theaters are taking it upon themselves. It's not even like their chain or whatever. Local theaters are like, you know what? Let's play the first Top Gun again. Just because people will pay us to go see it. No, they're just going to sell more popcorn buckets. Everything gets a popcorn bucket. We bring every damn movie back, and every movie gets a $40 popcorn bucket. That's how we stay in business. And what's going to happen is if the theaters collapse, which is very possible, it might not happen right away, but within the next couple of years, then there are even fewer big budget movies that are going to get greenlit because Netflix, they're going to do stuff on the cheap, right?
Well, then what's going to happen is that everybody else is just going to copy them to stay relevant.
Yeah. So then, Peacock will do the same thing. So that's Universal. Disney will do the same thing. They'll be like, why should we spend $300 million on a Star Wars movie when we get more mileage out of a $50 million thing or whatever? And everything's going to be made on the cheap, and it's going to be made with fewer people, and it's going to be made without union workers because it costs too much. And that, as long as people consume it, it doesn't matter. The production values to most people aren't going to matter a whole lot. Let's be honest. I mean, that's the truth of it. So you should be freaked out. If you work in Hollywood right now and you think things are going to continue the way that they've been, for the last couple decades, you really need to rethink your career trajectory because this is going to change very, very fast. There is no more survive until 27, survive until 28.
I'm like 26. That doesn't quite rhyme either, but it's better than what they have.
I think by 2030, we're going to look at a wildly, wildly different Hollywood. I don't even know if Hollywood, as we know it, will exist anymore. I think it's just going to be a bunch of tech companies pumping out content.
Probably.
And that's
led by Google.
Led by Google. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. I don't know, guys. It's not too late to become a plumber. It's not too late to become an electrician. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.